Hello and welcome back to Futbol Mundial, where today me and Michael take you around the world to discover some interesting stories within the beautiful game.
Yes, and this week you are getting a double dose of curls as Zach and I take over from the boys who are at the Confederations Cup. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, we're not.
We're not.
But anyway, fear not, we have the greatest pub side in the US, the biggest prick in football, and no, it's not Joe. Plus, our one to watch segment is coming up.
However, we begin this week with one of the most dedicated coaches in Italy who made good on a promise from 2 months ago when his team were facing the prospect of relegation to Serie B.
Yes, Davide Nicola, the 44-year-old at the helm of Crotone, laid down the gauntlet after his side's first away victory of the season, which only came in April after beating Chievo 2-1. He promised to cycle 1,300 kilometres across the country if they completed a seemingly impossible Great Escape. At this stage, they had a measly 11 points.
That is still 11 points more than the FD7 side team, who are having a pretty horrendous season, I must say. But it obviously worked, with the Calabrians winning 6 of their last 9 games, including a 3-1 win over Lazio on the last day. That meant they finished 2 points above the drop.
Well done.
Forza Crotone! On the weekend, Nicola kept his promise and completed the ride.
Well done, mate.
Well done once again.
Legend. We may as well stay in Italy, McLovin, where one legend of the game has decided to try his hands at another sport. Some people can really do it all.
We are a rare breed indeed, aren't we, Zach? But yes, the legend in question is the one and only Paolo Maldini, who at the ripe old age of 48,
Mental.
48, has qualified for a professional tennis tournament in Italy with his doubles partner.
Was it mixed doubles? That's Chris's parents' favourite. Anyway, given that the 5-time European Cup / Champions League winner only started playing the game 6 years ago, this is an incredible achievement. He really is a fine wine.
Yes, that Milan side was something else. Did you know that Shevchenko also played golf professionally back in 2013? Well, you do now. Know of any other multi-talented sportsmen? Hit us up in the comments.
We hop over to the States now, where the last amateurs standing in the US Open Cup, the America's equivalent to the FA Cup, have been knocked out. But not before giving DC United an almighty scare.
Thanks for that wonderful accent there, Zach. But yes, Christos SC, a pub team sponsored by a discount liquor store, took the lead in front of a crowd of nearly 6,000, and although DC United equalised 10 minutes later, the First Division outfit did not take the lead until the 80th minute.
Christ.
Pretty impressive.
That's mental. This is a team, though, with a loan officer, a plumber, an X-ray technician in their ranks. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite hold on, and the floodgates opened, with the score stretching to 4-1.
You'd know all about stretching, wouldn't you, Zach? Yoga. Next, we move on to the biggest prick in world football, Argentine defender Federico Allende.
Oh, I thought it was Chris. Anyway, his club, Sport Pacifico, residents of the Argentinian 4th Division, pulled off a major cup upset on Sunday, beating top-flight giants Estudiantes 3-2. However, Allianz's actions have threatened to overshadow the victory.
Yes, he was caught boasting in a radio interview about some very underhand tactics, which included smuggling a needle onto the pitch and poking the opposition with it. Colombian forward Juan Otero subsequently described him as a nasty man. I think he deserves that accolade.
Yeah. Pacifico chairman Hector Moncada was so upset that his admission detracted from the team's good work that he's since promised to expel him from the team. Rightly so.
Now it's time for Futbol Mundial's one to watch, and this week it's a special Confederations Cup edition.
Yes, the world's most underrated international tournament kicked off on the weekend, and we've already had some classic encounters. One player who hasn't even featured yet, but you should definitely keep an eye out for, is Mexico's Hirving Lozano.
Nicely pronounced there, Zach. Some of you may have already heard Lozano's name already this summer. He was heavily linked with a move to Man City, but instead completed a move to PSV Eindhoven this week.
And there's little wonder why he's admired. The speedy 21-year-old forward has been in electric form for Mexico club Pachuca, scoring 43 goals in 149 appearances from the left wing.
Yes, and some of them are absolute belters as well, including one where he heads the ball onto his foot for the volley.
That's mental.
That is, can you believe it?
That's unreal.
Ridiculous, absolutely unreal. Keep a watch out for the man also known as Chucky, as Mexico take on Russia on Saturday.
We move on from our one to watch onto a Real Madrid superstar who the authorities are keeping an eye on. And no, it's not Cristiano Ronaldo. It's the last man you'd expect, Luka Modric or David Guetta. I can never tell.
Neither can I, Zach. Neither can I. Yes, the Croatian State Attorney's Office has opened an investigation against the midfield metronome for perjury, and he will face a maximum sentence of 5 years if he's found guilty.
Basically, he changed his statement against old Dynamo Zagreb chief executive Mr. Mamic, because I can't say his first name. That involved the player and Mamic keeping part of his transfer fee from Tottenham.
Sounds like some pretty underhand shit. Last but certainly not least, we end this week's Futbol Mundial with a plea from Iran's national team captain, Masoud Shajai, who has challenged the ruling that bans women from attending matches. Can you believe that rule still even exists?
The 33-year-old Panionios player took to Twitter to plead with his president over the archaic notion. The first player to do so since the rule was in force after the Islamic Revolution in 1979.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
Iran secured their 2018 World Cup berth after beating Uzbekistan last Monday in the Azadi Stadium, witnessed by almost 60,000 men in attendance. But Shajai isn't content with that. He wants social justice too. What a man.
So that was Futbol Mundial. It was arguably the best ever one, Michael. Would you agree?
Don't know. Maybe.
Oh, come on. But would they like to see us come back? I'll put it in the poll. I'll probably put yes and yes so they can't say no as
Always
well.
a great believer in democracy, aren't you, Zach?
Indeed.
But if you enjoyed this, why not check out yesterday's EFD Top 10, hosted by moi.
Oh,
10 clubs that humiliated themselves. It is an absolute banger, so get yourself over there.
And lastly, make sure you're following us all the handles. They're coming up right there. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, look at that sync.
I think when I went like that, it probably looked like I was smoking a joint instead of like